If I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can cheer somebody with a word or song, if I can show somebody who is traveling wrong, then my living shall not be in vain. If I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can cheer somebody with a word or song, if I can show somebody who is traveling wrong, then my living shall not be in vain. Then my living shall not be in vain. No, my living shall not be in vain. If I can help somebody as I pass along, then my living shall not be in vain. Then my living shall not be in vain. No, my living, it not be in vain. If I can help somebody as I pass along, then my living shall not be in vain. marching up to freedom land. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. Gonna keep on a walking, keep on a talking, marching up to freedom land. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. Keep on a walking, keep on a talking, marching up to freedom land.
Good morning, heart and soul. I am in the midst of having a moment that I thought was complete. Thank you, Charles. You know, oh Lord, help me. There is so much that is in our environment that we must learn to manage. I know that there's the activity, the invitation to start by changing others. And I'm not saying that others won't need to change, but we're a part of any other. Any other we could name or identify or, roll our eye toward. That it's just us. So this notion, can I just say that, and I know y'all know, I just need to say it aloud, that Black history is, the way we celebrate Black History Month is American history. If we dig more deeply, it's world history. So look, this idea of canceling Black history, let me just say, thank you, Dr. Carter G. Woodson. Thank you, thank you, thank you for doing the foundational work that gets us to a point where there is a Black History Month. Now, let me just say that y'all know, because I'm looking here, there's only a person that's young enough to not know this, that although there was a movement, a move towards ensuring that Black folks understood their history, because it was not included in schools or in any historic study. And this would be pre-African American studies, pre all of that. So if you got in at the party at that point, you were way late. And I'm grateful that we got in where we got in, yes? So I'm just thinking so many thoughts here. So let me just try to, because this isn't even the time for my talk, by the way. So I'm just kind of out here. Thank you, Charles. I'm just kind of out here without a. So look, I recognize that there's a move now to cancel Black history. And we, a part of the response could be anything you choose. Whatever comes up for you for that. But just know that whatever comes up doesn't change that. What changes it is an absolute commitment and action, because we know how we got here. We know it wasn't always there to begin with. So there are enough of us who have been around long enough to know what it takes, because we were involved in some way of getting it in there to begin with. So let's not act like we don't know. Now, I'm not saying at all, I'm saying respond. Reaction is not helpful. So our response is one of a collective awareness. See, that song wore me out, because if we don't know our history and we don't understand how important the songs were because they gave a message, if I can help just somebody. See, it's a different, then my living will not be in vain. That is a different standard for success. Look, I know that there are those who have an entire industry, TED Talks. There's a whole sections of books in the bookstores or online that can support you with identifying success for yourself. But you need to ask somebody if your standard is that your living is not in vain. You see, that's a whole other standard of who I be and what I do from that. Is this making sense? All right. But why y'all let me come up here now? Because no, never again. Never again. Look, U.S. Senator and Raphael Warnock, who is also the senior pastor at Ebenezer Baptist Church, says this: Black history is American history, and Black History Month is a time of celebrating the victories and steadfast resilience of generations of Black Americans who've accomplished incredible feats. And some of it is simply ensuring that their living was not in vain because they helped somebody. I want us to really get this notion, because that's how we bend the arc of the moral universe. Yes? Oh, Lord. So look, Heart and Soul really has an historical standard in our celebration of Black history. And so you will see over to the far left on this, y'all at home, I love you, and you need to work it out to get in here. Because you can see me, you can see the slide, but you don't get to see all this wonderfulness that is representative of Black history. And there's no way for us to translate that so that you can. Just get in here and get in on it whenever you possibly can. So over here on the left is most of which we presented last week. We've since added some. And that's kind of our internal ministers, the Heart and Soul ministers, plus the folks who have ministered at Heart and Soul. And what it's representing is that as children, we didn't pick ministry. We picked some other stuff. And yet, this is how the path unwound for us. And then in the very back, our current display is ministers, I want to say, in the movement. And so you understand that the civil rights movement was in the 60s, and it was a time that did not lift up women in the way that we are declaring women must be lifted up now. That does not mean they were not there. And since we're speaking of ministers, you know that the nature of Christianity and even Judaism did not include women then, so they're not featured there except for Dr. Johnny Coleman and Bishop Barbara King, who is there? Yes. And Dr. Johnny mentored Bishop Barbara King. And so there's that connection. And you know that Dr. Johnny Coleman was trained in unity but couldn't really practice there. in the way that they were not welcoming. They were not a welcoming and inclusive group then. They have since righted that wrong and apologized and done some work to include Dr. Johnny Coleman's organization in Chicago. But they are represented because this is heart and soul, and we wouldn't know how not to. So you get that. We also are inviting you. Our final display at the fourth Sunday of February is your ancestors, my ancestors, our ancestors. So we're inviting you to be a part of that. We ask you that you bring ready to display photos. It means you already have it in a frame. And it also means it's not your only copy. If you only have one and you're not willing to make a photocopy of it or do whatever you want, duplicate it, then do not bring it. Just hold it to your heart and bring us something else. Yes? Because we will not take responsibility for any of it other than displaying it. Yes? Okay, so we're wanting to celebrate it in that way. I also, because of the nature of this time, if the slide is up, no, put it up, please. It's the California Immigrant Policy Center and the LGBT Asylum Project. At times like this, there are those folks who will come to you and say, what do I do? Or you'll overhear that there is the concern, given current politics, where can I go? Who can I talk to? I need you to, where your phones down? We've been taking photos of the slides. Yeah, this is the one you need. This is the one you need, because you're going to be at the grocery store, you're going to be at the Costco, you're going to be at the other place, and you're going to remember, I got something for you. Come on now, if we're going to do this, if I can help somebody, you already forgot. If I can help somebody, that word, that connection could make all the difference, y'all. Yes? Yes. So, the other thing, if you're not in here, or if you get here a little later, you miss that we have what we call our praise groove time. And so this month, what we're playing is Sounds of Blackness, Optimistic. And it's because of these lyrics. Don't give up, don't give in, although it seems you never win. That's the only part of that I'm going to share with you right now. Because that's enough to hold us, yes? To know that we must bring some optimism to this time, some reality as well. So look, this afternoon at 2 o'clock, we have I need you to get ready though. This afternoon at 2 o'clock, we have our Black History event. And it is featuring Charles Holt. Yes. So Charles Holt and Gerald Rivers created this piece, Martin and Music, 10, 12 years ago now. And so it will be Charles Holt singing, the music of the movement, if you will, and then Gerald Rivers will be speaking Martin's part, if you will, Dr. King's part. It is going to be magnificent. You want to be here, and if you can't be here, you want to make sure somebody is here who will tell you all about it. Yes? Yes. So, I'm probably going to need more tissue because Charles is going to sing, Great is Thy Faithfulness. All I have needed, I don't need it right now yet. Thank you, baby. Thank you. I know I will. And I'm getting ready to sit right back down by the box. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. I give you Charles Holt and Thomas Hughes.
Great is thy faithfulness, O God, my Father. There is no shadow of turning with thee. Thou changest not thy compassions, they fail not. As thou hast been and forever will be. Great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Summer and winter, springtime and harvest, sun, moon, and stars in their courses above, join all of nature in manifold witness to thy great faithfulness, mercy, and love. Oh, great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, oh, new mercies I see. Oh, I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord.
my brother Charles Holt. Great is thy faithfulness. See, the setup here is that we have to know something. We already know something. The question is what you know now and trust in, is that sufficient? Is that even appropriate? Is it beneficial? Y'all think it's rhetorical. Is the way that we have set our belief system, is it serving us, given our goals, given our intention, given our vision, given our dreams? Is there anybody here without a dream? Is there anyone here without a vision? Anyone who has not yet set an intention? So there would be like a personal intention for your life, and it can just be for today maybe. And I love that Heart and Soul was a part of that. I love that Heart and Soul was a part of your day. And for those of you viewing this, I don't know what day it is, because you can view it whenever. Some of you may choose to view it or pass it on to others. But I just love that whenever, howsoever that happened, that it included us. And I need to say it must also include a level of faith, a level of trust, a level of knowing, a belief that supports you in accomplishing that. Watch this, because I see some of us act like, yeah, that's clear. Could you just do the talk? But I want to drill down, because I want us to review. I want us to look more deeply, more closely, to discern the degree to which our current belief system supports our desired outcome. Because see, right here where you are, which is not where you intend to be. I mean, this is wonderful. We're going to celebrate this. And yet we got someplace else to go. We have a larger vision, one that continues. We're alive and have whatever level of wellness we're experiencing now. And some of us have a vision of healing, a vision of transformation, a vision of a promotion, a vision of a move for where they are living, a vision of a relationship that is healed and whole and wonderful, yes? So we have a vision for something more than what we are currently experiencing. So my question, because we got that, we're agreed, yes? Okay. But right now, does our belief system support the vision for tomorrow? And if it doesn't, this is not the time to thrash about and self-flagellate. This is the time to say, whoa, I'm awake now. You got my attention. Because I know that I must shift my belief system if I ever intend to have that outcome. Yes? So that's see, come on, Mother Harriet, let's go. Because all of us have been in a situation, Mother Harriet, yes? So, but there's a belief system that is not born out of the current situation. I'm not believing in the current situation. I'm believing beyond that. Now, that's not necessarily easy to do, because the current situation sometimes comes up to here in consciousness, if not here. So you are going to have to figure out a way to rise above the vibration of the current consciousness. So, Mother Harriet, may I use your situation circumstance? Thank you. So, enslaved, every law supports my enslavement. Everything that I can see as far as I can look supports my being enslaved and confirms that and affirms that. And yet, I have a belief that something else is possible. Y'all better get some of this. I must have a belief that that's not the total of my situation. Now, there may not be another human being who can guide me and support me in this knowing, but I'm going to have the faithfulness. I'm going to have to know something beyond my current knowing. I'm going to have to be willing to do something I've never done before and maybe never seen done. I'm going to have to be willing to shift everything in my consciousness so that I can see myself in my vision, in my dream realized, and that I can actually focus on that so exclusively that my current circumstances do not disturb me. Yes. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm just saying we're going to have to do it. I was over there blowing my nose and left my clicker. Valda, please. Well, that's what a finger is for. Because I want to, thank you very much. I want to get to this idea. Y'all know that most of the ministers, if not all except for me, have long, come on now. All right, I was about to say I had to get Ron on you, but I worked it out. Have given up judging people. This is not a mountaintop ministry. This is not where I get on mic and pretend that I have accomplished things I have not. And one of the places that I'm really working on this, but I find that I have some judgment. When people, I'm working on it. And I know many of you are not there. You don't even need this part. But look, for me and those like me, here's how it comes up for me very, very often in this kind of setting, is where an individual shares that they have a goal, intention, vision, dream, and they have it time-stamped. So they're believing that it should have happened last year. And it didn't. So now when they speak to people about it, they say something like, it must not have been for me. Now, I don't know whether it was for them or not. But often they don't either. Because they did not do what was required to get there. So you see, my judgment is in my knowing that not only must you have the vision clear in mind, but you're going to have to put on some boots. You're going to have to go the distance. You're going to have to be, you're going to have to do, you're going to have to have something different. If you want a different outcome, you must transform because, can I remind you of this? Your current circumstance is exactly your mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical equivalency. So whatever it is that's in your life, you are the match for it. I wish I had better news for you. But that's how it is. You are the magnetic draw. You are the perfect match. Nothing else can get to you but that your consciousness at every level matches. I know you want that. You will not have it until you are the mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical match to it. Does What question do you have about that? For real, for real. If you're at home and you have a question, put it in the chat. They'll bring it to me. Do it quickly. Is there a question about that? Because this is like key. You have to do the work. It doesn't matter who's in the White House. It doesn't matter who's at the State House, the municipality leadership. Now, that doesn't mean we're going to act like they don't have something to do with and we don't engage them. Do not mistake it. Don't tell nobody I told you you shouldn't be involved civically. Because you ought to. If you live here, you ought to make certain that you're engaged in that. But simultaneously, at the same time, you are busy working on you. Your mind, your heart, your spirit. Why? Because that's exactly what you are building in your life. Any question? Yes. The question is, what does working on you look like in action? For you? There is no such thing. She asked, in response to my asking whether she was talking about herself, she said in general, to which I replied, there's no such thing. There is no general life transformation. It's all highly individualized. The question becomes, what will you need to do to shift your belief system so completely that you live a different life? Now, it's not that it has never happened before. So we're not, y'all, I'm not blazing a new trail here. I'm just reading the leaves. What was that thought, though?
My thought was just that because
Take the mic, please. That way I don't have to repeat.
My thought was just that if there has been trails blazed,
And there have.
and there are people who are in this space where they need transformation, or they need to move forward, or they need to do this thing, I'm just surprised that there aren't any foundational places to jump off. Like, you know, I mean, I guess we can pray, and there's other things that we can do within ourselves to kind of start. But I'm just surprised that there's not just some general standards that people can kind of take with them. That was what the face was.
I might be misunderstanding the question.
Yes.
The general standard.
So, like,
help me
we're
with-
talking about transformation.
Yes.
Yes. And you're saying that each person, that's highly customized and highly individualized for
Yes.
them.
Yes.
But I guess in my mind, I just challenge that thought that there are some places where people can go to start. Like,
Oh,
if you
absolutely.
don't know, if you
Absolutely.
haven't done that before, if you haven't navigated that space before, that there is somewhere for you to start to imagine, to start to create that
Absolutely.
vision, to start and put one
Absolutely.
foot in front of the other.
Absolutely. And the good news?
Yes, ma'am.
You're there. You're here right now. It's what we do. It's what we do. You are sitting right now in the seat. You are in the soup, in the stew of all of the good stuff to take into consideration. It's individualized because how you got to where you are. So where you are, we're celebrating that, yes? And we're acknowledging that you have a vision for something else. Yes? Well, how did you get to where you are? So you have what it takes to move you, because you weren't always there, wherever that is. There was a before, and you've already overcome. And now you're like, okay, it's the next level. Now would not be the time to pretend like you don't know how to do it, because you've already been doing it. Now you're here, and what you're getting are some tips and some awareness. So I'm going to offer some stuff, yes, that can support. Now, it's not personalized to any one individual, so you will need to work with it to see how it how it goes for you. You may have to read a book. You may have to take a course. You may have to expand your meditation time. You may have to increase your prayer. You may have to start singing, but only certain lyrics. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It might be in a prayer partner. It might be, in a book study. I don't know what it will be. It might be just that deepened meditation where you really are face to face with the divine saying, great is thy faithfulness to me. I can trust this. I can know this. Yes? Does that make sense? Okay. Thank you. I always appreciate the question. One, because I'm a trainer at heart. And for trainers, there has to be a transfer of learning. Something has to happen. I can't just talk and y'all kind of nod or doze off. And I feel like, oh, I'm complete. But this lets me know if I'm missing the mark or if there's something more. Was that useful to anybody else? Yeah. Okay, good. All right. Then my living shall not be in vain. All right. Yes? Yes. So look, Eric Butterworth says this, and this may be part of the toolkit. See, in being here, what I think we're doing to some extent is we're filling our toolkit. You came in here we're not selling one in the lobby or nothing, but you brought yours, and then you go, oh, this could be helpful. Oh, I could use this. This might help me later when I could have used this yesterday. And so I'm going to get right to it. Yes? That's what I think we're doing. All right, so get in where you fit in. Eric Butterworth says this, and this could be in somebody's toolkit. Things may happen around you. Eric, I'm going to have to update you. Things will happen, are happening around you. And things are happening to you. But it's only the only things that matter are the things that are happening in you. Why is that? Because you and your life is the mental, emotional, spiritual, physical equivalent of all of you. So if it matters to you, it shows up in your life somewhere. Yes? Okay. This is a time for us to really shift. I mean, it's always time. This feels like, so it's not the final, but it's bigger than the midterm. Maybe it's the licensing for certification. That's where we are. This is where you are getting licensed to live your life in the way that you desire. Go on, girl, get this. Yes, this is where, so this time in our lives, we are getting ready for the certification, to be certified to live our lives the way we intended. Well, somebody gets it. But some of y'all aren't thinking that if you don't certify, what do you get? You get the life you don't want to live. She said lovingly. You get the life that you default to. Because the one that you really desire just looked like too much work. Looked a little too complex. You have to get up earlier, maybe stay up later. You had to miss something. Some binge watching. The Grammys, the Oscars. You're going to have to miss something in order to focus on what it is. See, that would be part of the individualized program. See, I don't know what it is you're going to have to let go. I don't know what it is you're going to have to miss temporarily or permanently forever. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is you'll have to just cut out of your life, out of your diet. Your mental diet, your emotional diet, your spiritual diet, your physical diet. See, I don't know, because everybody, you can't eat at just anything and go everywhere. Visionarily speaking. You understand that, don't you? That none of us knows exactly what will be required. It will be revealed along the way, because that's the only way it can. You're not ready now. You can't handle knowing what you're going to have to give up until you're closer to the goal, when it will barely matter. Or it will matter less. Let me just say that. It may not just barely matter. Been there, done that. It may still matter a lot, and you're going to still have to let it go. If you intend to, is this? Okay. All right. So look, Eric Butterworth is setting us up here. You know, Heart and Soul is part of a larger organization, Centers for Spiritual Living. And our vision is a world that works for everyone. And where we got some of that idea, kind of the juice behind that intention, is from Sharif Abdullah, who says a world that works for all is not achievable without restructuring our priorities and attitudes and our culture. Can you see it's changing the whole thing, he's saying, in his own way? See, this is what keeps us sometimes from our vision and our goal. We know we're not in that picture. The current me is not in my future goal picture, or I'd already have that. I don't think y'all understand what I'm saying. See, if you're really seeing your vision, your goal, played out, you see an image of you. But it's not the you today. It's an evolved you. It's a healed you. It's an educated you. It's a open you. It's a forgiving you. Yeah, I went there. Because the current one may not be forgiving. But the one who can live that life must be. Somebody told me when you get silent, that's like a good thing. I don't recognize, it doesn't register that way to me. Okay, that's what people try to tell me. It just don't look like that. Okay, all right, y'all are marinating. I'm going to keep cooking then. All right, it does. All right, if you marinate, I'm going to cook. He says that the change must be fundamental. He says, in short, a transformation. Go on. Yes, Sharif. He says a transformation of head, heart, and hand, representing what you're doing as well. Yes? Can we see that? Is this helping? Okay, good. I'm so glad you asked the question, because now I get where I'm kind of focusing my aim, so to speak, and not on you, but on the idea of, so how do I personally do that? This is how you personally do it. You begin reading that helps you change your mind. If you keep doing what you've always done, and you keep reading and singing and affirming what you've always affirmed, guess what happens? Y'all fill in the rest. What do you get? Exactly. I can hardly hear you, but I know you said what you've always gotten. Why? Because that's the equation for that. It simply reproduces that. And that's fine if you're like, yes, I want some more of that. If you don't, then you must change it. What did he say? Fundamentally, at the core level of that. Yes? Okay. Neville Goddard says this. I had to update it because, these old writers, they only talk about men. And I know they meant humanity, so I'm just going to help them. This is my belief. It is my belief, Neville Goddard says, that all humans can change the course of their lives. We listening? We in, right? This is where you should be leaning forward just ever so slightly to get into this, to self-identify in a way. By our imagination. This is what I'm saying. Are you seeing yourself in there? Yes? By our imagination, by our affirmations, by what we say, and I'm going to say what we sing because lyrics are but affirmations. Watch what songs you are singing, y'all. Okay. We change, by our effort, we can change our world, we can change our future. And I'm going to take out the can. We change our world, we change our future. He says, I have always preached that if, and I do too, Neville, look at us. Preach that if we strive passionately to embody a new and higher concept of ourselves, and that's what we're doing today. We are striving, we are moving it around in our minds so that we can embody a new and higher concept of ourselves, then all things will be at our service. He's saying nothing can resist you if you do the work. You will not end up at the end saying, well, it must not have been for me. Because you will have invested in a way so consistently. Yes? Yes, yes, yes. He says, most people are totally unaware of the creative power of imagination. And this is what, do you mind if I speak to you just directly? Because for a young'un to get the power of their imagination, now you already know the power of your imagination because you imagine some stuff. Can I offer a tip? Don't imagine nothing you don't want in your life. And the invitation will come. There's an entire industry of advertising, etc., who works very specifically to impress upon your imagination what it wants you imagining. And it's difficult to resist. So all of us must work out. Now, a youngin' has a better opportunity because they just don't have so much recorded on the tape already. So this is why I'm really heads up. It's coming. Yes? Okay. So look, he says that we're totally unaware of the creative power of imagination, and we invariably, he's saying what I said, invariably bow before the dictates of facts. So just in case you had planned on trotting out some facts that you think can interrupt this idea of the transformation of your life, often this comes up. You have an intention, somebody give me an example of something that's on your vision board, something that's on your heart, something that you desire for yourself. Just say it. Travel. Okay? So it's travel that is the vision. So there are multiple people who want travel, let's just say. There's one who wants travel but is believing that there's Department of State advisories. Now, they're not advising for where you're going, but the fact that they are advising somewhere is interrupting your vision for going. Does that make sense? You know, the State Department does these advisories, don't travel to this place, or they, high risk, whatever. So, I'm just giving you examples. So there's some facts that we just had some air collisions. We just had some crashes. That's true. And we're having just a moment of silence. Oh. Thank you. And what we know is there are some people who will not be flying until further notice. That's just real. And so it comes off of their vision board. Even though that really is their heart's desire, they take it off mentally. They cease investing in it. Yes? And then there are those, you have the whole continuum of where folks are on it. Does that make sense, using travel? But replace travel with anything else that you desire. Because there will be facts. Oh, now, in here, there's somebody who does the research on how frequently planes don't land at their intended destination. And they have those facts to support their decision to not live their vision. And you will. If there's a particular field you want to go in, there are stats to say that you as a female, or you at your age, or you at your blah, 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 blah. And yet you can run into somebody who didn't have none of that and are doing the dang thing. And rather than get mad and pissed about how, ain't it awful? You can use that as a wake-up call. I'm just trying to say a little something for y'all. Okay, look. So he's saying that the ones who are unaware of the power of imagination bow to facts. My ring says faith over fear. And that's what he's talking about. Faith over facts. Yes? Because right now, I mean literally right now, someone is being healed of something that a decade or 2 or 3, I mean as far back as you want to go, the prognosis was death. So we don't know. See, I when something comes up for me, I regularly declare that I am willing to be featured in the medical journals. And that helps me. That helps me because I know that the average run-of-the-mill thing is not featured. So when they tell me that that's the, and you know, I mean, I've shared this before, that I've already had the last rites as an infant. The medical system said my parents would not take me home and that they needed to get me christened or whatever they were going to do because that was it. And so I think maybe a bit of an advantage because I know that they're doing the best they can. They really are. They're using what they can use, and legally they're restricted with what it is, but you not. And nor is the group that you can surround yourself with who can be praying and helping you discover other options. And what else? And knowing something more. Is this making sense, y'all? Is it making sense, y'all? I hope so. Okay, look. Who knew Neville would take this long? Okay. Oh, okay. So he's just told us about how if we're not using our imagination, we're offering just bowing down to the facts, to the fear, and accept life on the basis of the world. He says without, he means around you. You look out and you set that as what it is. But what if you didn't? What if you didn't look at the stats to determine your opportunity? What if you didn't look at how somebody's looking at you to determine how you can be in something? Yes? Oh, Lord, yes. He says, when you discover the creative power within you, you will boldly assert the supremacy of imagination and put all things in subjection to your imagination. Everything else must serve your imagination. It could be a get thee behind me moment, couldn't it? Yes. When an idea comes up that isn't serving the vision, it's be like, I see you, but you better not mess with me. Not today. Y'all know how to put your foot down. Y'all know how to shift the energy. And when an idea comes up, it don't have no power till you give it power. So until then you say, not today. We're not thinking that. And have your affirmation ready. Have your lyrics ready. Yes? Have the little poetic stanza ready for it. I knew you were coming. And I got this for you. Yes? I mean, you got to talk it down and off of you. That's right. Do what you have to do. Because, see, you've already developed a relationship. You've been letting it run wild, can I just say? You know, I liken it to an untrained dog. It's just out there humping legs and chasing cars. And that's your mind. It's just, you just haven't trained it yet. And so it's just out there running amok. People are like, get your dog. Get your dog. And don't you marvel at the people who just don't, they don't even have to do this here. They just, and a dog. That's how you want your mind, responsive. wholly responsive to you. You don't even have to say, you better get back over here, mind. You know how when you have to get the dog to put something down? You need to get your mind to let go of that thought. Say, stop, but let that go. Put it down. And then once your mind has released that, you go on. Say, good mind. Good mind, come on. We're going to go to the next thing now. But because you're in charge. Are y'all getting this? Either you're in charge or the dog is. The little crazy mind part. Yes? I hope this is making sense because you guys, there's no telling what people will say about this talk. So, but if I can help somebody, then I ain't worried about it, all right? Look at here. But I need to tell you because all of that was a setup. Ralph Waldo Emerson says, stand guard at the portal of your mind. Now, what's the portal of the mind? The opening. So you don't let just any idea in and let it wander around in there. Set itself up and carry on, defecate and other stuff. Yeah, no. I should not have made it that plain. Because that's what you end up living in if you aren't. Okay, I'm going to go on. So look, I want you to know about Reverend Phil Lawson, who just passed about a week and a half ago and was local, didn't grow up here, but was the pastor emeritus at Easter Hill. United Methodist Church in Richmond. And a local activist. I want to share some things about him. He's a courageous leader and a prophetic voice. Throughout his life, he embodied the values of justice, inclusion, and fearless advocacy. See, this is where you may not have a model in your life. You know what I mean? Somebody it may not be your neighbor, your uncle may not have been, but Reverend Phil Lawson may support you in knowing something more. His work in civil rights, interfaith solidarity, and the fight for economic and racial justice has left an indelible mark on our community and the world. His steadfast belief in the dignity of all people, say that with me, please, all people, serves as a guiding light for all who seek to transform the world through faith and action, and we all do, because the world begins with us. Our world, your world, my world begins with me. I don't have no our world if I'm not in it. And my version of it, meaning the way that I see it, the way that I interpret it, the way that I experience it, is all me. It really doesn't matter what you do if I don't understand it. If I think that your love for me isn't, and are y'all going to pretend like you haven't had that experience? That somebody love you, but you don't think they do? But in your world, they don't. In reality, in another dimension, it's absolutely true. So what needs to change? Your worldview. I'm going too far now, they can go. So look, Reverend Phil Lawson leaves us with this. He says, I'm firm in my understanding and beliefs that nonviolence is a way of life, rather than a tactic or a strategy to overcome problems. Nonviolence is a way of life that leads to community. You cannot build community on violence, he says, whether it's psychological violence, economic violence, cultural or environmental violence. Regardless of the adjective you put in before the word violence, violence will not produce community. And the goal of my life, and I think for most human beings, is community. The opposite of slavery is not freedom, but community. The opposite of abuse and oppression is not just to be free of that, but to live in a community where that abuse is infrequent, where that is not supported, where that is not structural. We live in a nation where violence is structural. It is not personal. Racism is structural. He says it's structural, not personal. And that's the thing that many people engaged in movements do not quite understand. They think it's personal and private. It's not personal and private, it's public and political. It's in the structural arrangements of the way we work together that produces the damage done to us. So nonviolence is not necessarily just an option. It's the only way we're going to live together as community, as a nation, as a world. Dr. King's last book was entitled, Where Do We Go From Here? Chaos or Community? He says there are no third ways. It's either chaos or community. And community is built upon compassion and nonviolence. By doing love and trying to do justice, he says, you learn to live. Now look, I love that. We've lost a warrior. And my prayer is that there are others who step into this awareness. This is why Black history is so important. So important, so that we can see what it really is and who was doing what. But look, where did he get that? Well, he got it from his brother. He had a brother who's 3 or 4 years older than he, Reverend James Lawson. Now, his name is probably more familiar because he was friends and colleagues with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So we see him in many of the photos with him. He is literally the man who called King to Tennessee to help with the sanitation worker strike. So he has a whole story that is worth researching. I can't do all the heavy lifting. It's worth researching so that you can see, because an entire generation of younger leaders first learned from Reverend James Lawson the power of nonviolent resistance as the most moral, practical, and effective tool for social transformation. In fact, this nation and the world are indebted to this largely unsung hero. This was from Reverend Walter Fluker. He's the professor emeritus of the ethical leadership at Boston University School of Theology. He's sits in the Martin Luther King Jr. chair, if you will, for that. He also said that it's only when the hostility comes to the surface that the people see the character of our nation. Can I just say today, that's why I wanted to make sure I included this quote, because I think this is where we're struggling, where some of us have a little memory loss. Not going to try to diagnose anything, but it's as if we've forgotten that this is not our first rodeo. And rather than fall out like, ain't it awful, and we don't know what to do, this is a time where we look at each other with that knowing. We know what to do. We know what to do. We know what to do. And it takes all of us. All of us. It takes the allies, it takes the advocates, it takes the co-conspirators, it takes all of us to engage and support. He says chances are that without people being hurt, we cannot solve the problem. I mean, look at our history. When we're fat and happy, sometimes we kind of forget what's required. We're not necessarily engaged in a daily practice. Our affirmations on the mirror just curl up all on the edges and fade out. And it's because we're not being attentive to what matters. Through nonviolence, and I think I'm going to try to close here. He says, through nonviolence, courage displaces fear, love transforms hate, acceptance dissipates prejudice, hope ends despair, peace dominates war, faith reconciles doubt, mutual regard cancels enmity, justice for all overthrows injustice. The redemptive community supersedes systems of gross social immorality. So some of us are asking how to do that. And it's in community. It's why Heart and Soul exist. I'm that girl that always wanted, as kids, we were the runners. Does anybody know what I mean? The youngsters are the young runners in the family. You go to the store, go to the neighbor and tell them this, take this over here, do that. But in my community, so when you got to a certain age, you were a runner. Go do this, take this, go get this, so-and-so, sister so-and-so has something, go get it and bring it here, and whatever it is, yes? Yes, change the channel. Thank you. Because that could be a call to you in another room. You could be in another room, and it would be, come change the channel on the television right here in front of me. It could be exactly that. Exactly that. And the idea here is that when I had to do that, I invariably enrolled somebody that I liked on the block. I have to go to the store, come go with me. I got to go. And so there's something about building community and knowing that we're in this together and that we can do it together. And in truth, you're going to have to do it. But frankly, it can be more fun if you do it in community. And fun is not a bad word, by the way. So look, my last quote from Reverend James Lawson, there we go. He says, so be that life, singularity, that life force, that energy of love and truth. May I then urge you to be a human being. He's doing a commencement address. May I then urge you to be a human being who is a citizen of the human race. Learn the power of life, the power of love, the power of what I call soul force. So what I know for sure is that love's in need of love today. Charles Holt, and this time for real, Thomas Hughes.
Good morning, evening, friends. Here's your friendly announcer. I have serious news to pass on to everybody. What I'm about to say could mean the world's disaster, could change your joy and laughter to tears. And right away. Hey, it's going round, breaking many hearts. Stop it, please, before it's gone too far. Hey, do, oh, yeah. The force of evil plans to make you its possession, and it will if we let it destroy everybody. Oh, we all must take precautionary measures. If love and peace you treasure, then you'll hear me when I say, don't you know that love's in need of love today? Look around you, don't delay, no. Send yours in right away, send yours in right away, 'cause hey, it's going round, yeah, breaking many, many hearts. Oh, no, stop it, please. You know it's gone too far, too far, too far, yeah. And love's in need of love today. Oh, don't you delay. Why won't you send yours in right away? Oh, hey, it's going around. Can't win, but it's breaking hearts, breaking hearts. My brother, my sister, stop it, please. It's gone way too far. It's gone, oh yeah. I'll sing love, 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 love's in need of love. Today, won't you please, just consider, please send yours in right here, right now. I love, 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 love. I sing love's in need. Ooh, love's in need. You see it, you feel it, you hear it. It is the only thing. Love, 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 love's in need of love today. Oh, don't you delay. Send yours in right away, because hate is going around breaking hearts. We don't wanna break the hearts. Stop it, please. Stop it, please. You know it's gone too far, too far. Oh, as I speak love, send yours in right away. I don't wanna let it go, 'cause love's in need. Ooh, love today. Can you feel it? Can you see it? Don't you imagine love beyond where we are? Love, I'm a part of love, 'cause I am love. I come from love. Oh, my heart sings love. Send yours in